Previously on Power Reviews.
With Database, we've got a Power Ranger.
The fluctuation in the cross-dimensional continuum. If alphabet soup disrupts the tachyon cloud.
What did you just do to this ship?
An alliance by going into the rift.
What was up with all that?
She's not there, Kay. It isn't real.
Same person, different worlds. Spend my days now as a cubicle monkey.
The directors of Alphabet Soup.
Not you.
He snatched up the little girl.
You lost her.
Our master, the landlord. She was standing next to the landlord.
K-Alpha.
We can use our biosignatures. It'll lead us straight to her.
And straight to the landlord.
Some sort of structure.
Guy will pilot the shuttle in and out. Mayo will provide magical support with her tablet.
The Sumerian forest.
Mitch and Mary will be our heavy hitters with their reformed super demon powers.
Caps.
Guy! Mitch! Mary!
Why did you demorph?
Mayo, get away from him!
Please. Stay.
And now, Database Rangers Power Review.
Greetings, Ranger. You're welcome to stay. I know my home is a bit sparse, but it's just so rare that I entertain guests.
Get away from her.
Oh, come now. You've only just arrived. Wouldn't you like to get caught up? Chat a while? I'm sure we both have stories to tell. We could even start with one of those reviews you love so much. I'm thinking episode 28 of Power Rangers Turbo. Fall of the Phantom. You remember how that story goes, don't you? It starts with sweet little Pink Ranger Cassie Chan, sitting on the steps in the halls of Angel Grove High School, swooning over her beloved Phantom Ranger.
I will always remember you.
But that wasn't true, was it? He forgets about everyone sooner or later. He even forgot about me. He'll forget about you, too. Come to think of it, I can't even recall what scene it was she was flashing back to just now.
Are you okay?
Fine. You?
Well, it looks like you have another spirited little fighter on your hands. Hopefully she's a little smarter than your last one. Her midday swooning was interrupted by Principal Kaplan, who had been informed by Miss Appleby of Miss Chan's request to delay her next exam.
You say that you've been very busy with other interests. Cassie, I suggest you take an interest in school.
Who could imagine that protecting the Earth could actually interfere with one's academic pursuits? Novel idea, isn't it? Oh, and fun fact, that was the last that anyone ever heard of the superfluous character of Miss Appleby.
Hey, Miss Appleby was awesome. On a related note, that happened to be the second to last appearance of Principal Kaplan.
Really not the most relevant information right now.
Nice to see that your masterful command of trivial paraphernalia is as acute as ever.
Thanks, I guess.
Now to the matter at hand. The two of you barging in here unannounced. Whatever am I to do with you? Perhaps Divatox would have had some good suggestions. She was severely displeased with you after you ruined her acquisition of the Turbo Megazord by providing the Rangers with the much more versatile rescue Zords, not to mention the subsequent defeat of her Metallosaurus.
Send them into deep space! Throw them into the vortex of eternal doom! I know, feed them to the giant squid on planet Freedom! Yeah. No! How do I get rid of that Phantom Ranger?
Wow, he even does impressions like you do. That was pitch perfect just now.
Could we maybe be focusing on the plan and not on complimenting my evil super demon doppelganger?
Oh, I've got it now. Her brother, General Havoc, while in the process of researching the Turbo Megazord with Porto, discovered that the source of all your powers lay within that power ruby in the center of your chest.
Without it, she'll be worthless.
Perhaps we should see how right he was.
You want my ruby? Come and get it. Here!
Oh, please, we've barely even made it past the cold open. Don't you want to hear more about Cassie and her little test? After promising to study alongside the equally ill-prepared Yellow Ranger, Ashley Hammond, young Miss Chan discovered a mysterious black note in her locker requesting her presence at Angel Grove Park. Assuming it to be from you, she honored the invitation, and despite the lack of a designated time or a more specific location, managed to find who she believed to be the Phantom Ranger, lurking away in the bushes. She was always so trusting, wasn't she? After all, why on earth would a ranger with the power of invisibility be lurking in the bushes unless it was some form of trick?
Good question. Now,
Exercise mundus!
This should really scare you.
no.
That's impossible.
I know. One would think that a Power Ranger would be smart enough to spot such an obvious trap, or at the very least manage to morph or teleport away before being wrapped in vines and captured by her enemies. Oh, did you mean this? A Sumerian seal. I haven't seen one of these for years. Decades, even. Is this how you turn to my old servants?
That is not good.
Really not good.
Any ideas?
Stall for time?
Works for me.
Here!
Oh, please. Playing Power Ranger is the type of plan those fools Bulkmeyer and Skullovich would come up with, and in fact do, attempting to enlist T.J. Johnson, Carlos Valerte, and Ashley Hammond to ironically pose as Rangers for their Angel Grove Monster Tour. An ill-conceived venture by the former Lieutenant Jerome Stone, which foolishly guaranteed that all attendees would view real-life Rangers or monsters for themselves.
Please, keep up.
Sorry. We thought.
We heard.
Never mind.
Of course, short stuff here. He's a little small to be a ranger.
Hey, I'm literally the same height you are.
Think long, think wrong.
The teens dismissed the two buffoons in a vain attempt to focus upon their studies, before suddenly realizing the absence of their pink comrade.
She must be around here somewhere.
Concerned, they search for her from their power chamber, enlisting the assistance of the gratingly voiced Alpha 6, who soon happens upon a signal.
We're close. Come on.
Unfortunately for them, the signal happens to be from the resourceful General Havoc, who reveals that he has captured the Pink Ranger, and threatens to turn her to stone with a pinch of Darvanian dust if they do not immediately turn you over. Perhaps we can come to a similar arrangement. You stay here and I let your friend escape with her life. Of course, the Turbo Teens reject his offer, but it doesn't matter to him, so long as you intercept his message. Regardless, the moment he ends his call, little genius Justin and the annoying android track Havoc's signal to the Cirrus dimension, and the Rangers immediately morph to effect a rescue, completely ignoring their mentor Demetria's attempt to warn them of the obvious trap.
She should be. Oh no!
The Turbo Rangers arrive to find Divatox's bungling henchmen, Rygog and Elgar, ready and waiting to dust your sleeping pink friend. And so battle commences with the surrounding Piranhatron squadron, with the Red Ranger taking a moment to blast Rygog in the face with his auto blaster.
I hate getting kicked in the face.
The battle quickly devolves into a silly game of keep-away, as the villains toss the urn of dust back and forth to keep it away from the Rangers.
Mitch, Mary, I need you to. That works.
Their game doesn't work, however, as Rygog manages to distribute the Darvanian dust down upon the now petrified Pink Ranger. At that moment, Divatox's forces make a tactical retreat, and you arrive, late to the party as usual.
We're here.
The other Rangers tell you that you're too late, but you selflessly remove your power ruby in an attempt to revive your stone-faced sleeping beauty. And remarkably, your feeble efforts actually appear to work.
Stay alert. With all those guards, who knows what might be waiting for us on the other side.
That was easy.
At that moment, her eyes pop open and she grabs your wrist, suddenly revealing herself to be General Havoc in disguise once again, as he teleports you both away.
I can't believe we fell for this.
It was a trap. Shall we go?
You knew we were coming.
You're here to rescue me. Yes?
Yes, but
Then let us go.
Okay.
I really don't like this.
Displeased over their failures, the Rangers scamper back to their base to attempt to regroup, recognizing that Divatox's new space is shielded from their sensors, and choosing to scan through the Cirrus dimension for their lost comrades, which would appear to be a futile effort in light of Divatox having a much more fortified option for her prisoners, if not for Divatox displaying an exceptionally poor choice in judgment by bringing them both to that exact location. She then compounds her poor choices by turning her back on Cassie, giving the Pink Ranger a moment to struggle free, providing a distraction for you to return a communicator to her and allow her to escape. Not the sort of mistake that I would be likely to repeat.
Want to bet?
Exercise was immunus!
Again, you really need to learn some new tricks.
How about this? We need to get you out of here.
Let slip the dogs of war.
You put that little Phantom Ranger back in his little cage.
Maybe this time we'll make a cage big enough for two. Unlike Boltmeyer and Skullovich, I won't charge you admission to observe false Power Rangers charlatans bumbling over themselves. But I will fulfill their promise of witnessing a real monster. Wouldn't you like to see that?
That was close.
We need to get you back to the others. Let's move.
You know, I'm sure that Cassie thought that everything would be fine when she reunited with her friends. But it only took a moment for Havoc to arrive with his upgraded Metallosaurus, looking decidedly more impressive than it had only 45 seconds before. The teens then transform, summoning your ostentatious eyesore Artillatron to bring forth their rescue Zords.
Is this the way to your ship?
Yep.
They leap into their Star Racer, Siren Blaster, Thunder Loader, Wind Rescue, and Lightning Fire Tamer Rescue Zords, fully confident in their impending victory.
We're almost there, Mayo. The ship is in sight.
Database?
Guy! Looks like you had better luck than we did.
Looks like it.
Oh, hey, it's me. This is not the one I remember.
Yeah, there's a lot we need to talk about, but there's no time right now.
Correct.
Everyone to the ship.
A major damper was put on their moods when Havoc revealed that he had brought you along to the battle, dangling you around in your little cage.
Interesting construction.
Get her to the ship and keep her safe.
But Database, you can't!
No arguing.
Okay.
DB!
Let's go.
After a moment's skirmish, the Rangers appear to realize that cars might not be the most effective of attack vehicles, and convert their rescue Zords into their more humanoid high stance modes.
Now that's a trick I haven't seen before.
Likely because it was never mentioned before. The Red Ranger then uses this new Zord formation to surprise him further by snatching the cage away and gently placing it on the ground, ignoring any concussions that you may have received in the skirmish.
Guy, get the shuttle back to the ship. We've got to initiate Plan B.
Affirmative.
Compassionate Cassie dives down to release you from your cell, but of course your focus is on defeating Metallosaurus.
It's time for you to initiate the rescue Megazord.
Dr. K? Dr. K, do you read me?
Affirmative. What's your status?
We are inbound with K Alpha, but we need you to initiate Plan B immediately.
Understood. You heard him. Let's prep those targeting systems.
Of course, they don't follow your advice right away, choosing instead to run around in circles for 2 minutes to show off their shiny new transforming cars, while Jim Cushionary sings about how invincible they are. However, I hate to inform. No one is invincible. I mean, of course, the formation of their brand new rescue Megazord allows them to summon the twin cannon arms of Artillatron to destroy the Metallosaurus once and for all. But once the smoke clears, you are nowhere to be found. So what are you going to do now? Try to run away again?
That depends.
On what?
On if you catch me.
Oh, this should be fun. You know, General Havoc ran away too. Sure, he may have claimed that it was to construct a new Metallosaurus, but considering that his last project took 100 years to complete, it is a safe assumption that he would not be returning anytime soon, and his sister Divatox would have to devise her own plans moving forward. Do you recall what happened to Havoc after that? He was turned to dust. Not exactly the best argument for running away. And when all is said and done, the Rangers still have no idea how well they performed on their dreaded exam. any more than they have any idea of your ultimate fate, as you stumble down the length of your subterranean tunnel, mumbling to yourself of your own impending doom.
I have lost my power ruby to Divatox. My life force is fading, and soon I will be gone forever.
And that's the end of the episode. So, what did you think of it? Well, was it a nice little stroll down memory lane? Was it just how your broken mind remembered?
I think I'm just about done running. Kate, do you read me?
No.
What's that?
Don't stop.
Who's there?
Run.
Ah, there you are. Not done running, I see.
Hey,
Move.
who is that?
Talking to yourself again. Although I suppose I can hardly criticize when our every conversation could be framed that way. Or did you forget that I am merely a part of you?
Still not in range. Come on, Kay, where are you?
Jump.
And who is...
Database?
Yeah.
Found you. Looks like our little game of hide-and-seek is at an end.
Database, hold on. We're coming to you.
Congratulations. You won. What happens now?
That's all up to you.
In that case, do you still want to hear my thoughts on the episode?
By all means, go right ahead.
Okay, well, obviously this is a bit of a weird one for me, since I remember it almost like an old home movie. I know that I was there, but I still recall everything from that third-person perspective of watching it on TV.
Must be a very surreal experience for you.
Oh, I don't know. I've been in stranger situations. The plot here is relatively straightforward, but well executed, in large part due to how well General Havoc implements his plan. His shape-shifting ability, despite only appearing in this episode, is well utilized in both attempts to lure his enemies into a false sense of security. And since this is the first time that he uses it, it makes sense that it would take the Rangers off guard, since his first victim has no opportunity to warn her teammates. His deception also manages to bypass any challenges that may have come with trying to remove the Power Ruby by force.
He also perfectly plays Cassie's emotions against her, presumably having researched your previous interactions and recognizing her as the perfect target. Surely not the last time that someone would use your visage to fool someone you cared about.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder on that. Anyway, this episode highlights how much stronger this string of episodes is when compared to the rest of Turbo's run. Starting with the my introduction in the Phantom Phenomenon, we see Divatox constantly trying to step up her plans, in what is essentially a back-and-forth arms race of escalation between the Rangers and villains, one of the earliest in the franchise. The existence of an invisible enemy forces her to be more creative, playing with ideas like phase-shifting Angel Grove, freezing the sun, and even toying with time. However, it was the triple threat arrival of General Havoc, the Space Base, and Metallosaurus, and the abduction of the Turbo Megazord that finally gave her the edge and tipped the scales in her favor, forcing the escalation counter-move of the activation of the Rescue Zords. In that regard, this episode was the inevitable blowback to keep pushing the stakes into the more personal arena.
Well put. And it does look like she made the right choice in targeting you, considering that after your departure, just one episode later, the entire season devolved into a baffling array of bizarre filler episodes, ultimately culminating in the complete and utter defeat of your Turbo Ranger comrades.
Again, thanks for the reminders. This episode, though, marks the penultimate story of this 7-part saga of escalation, by effectively removing the 2 new players and setting the stage for the culminating conflict between Divatox and the Rangers in the upcoming Clash of the Megazords. Even the subplot of the upcoming test from Miss Appleby serves to not only highlight the impact that their Ranger duties have been having on their studies, but also parallels the ambiguous ending of the episode, highlighting how they're still uncertain of their fates moving forward.
I can't help but notice you make no mention of the characters and their voices, or rather the lack thereof. Cassie especially, for someone seemingly so central to the plot, functions as little more than a prop, both figuratively and literally in the case of the Darwinian dust incident. She has no counter-argument for Kaplan, is ignored by Ashley, has no pithy remarks for Havoc, is dismissed by Divatox, barely says 3 words to you, and when her fellow Rangers ask how she is, all she can get out is...
Fine. But the Phantom...
Before trailing off and once again being interrupted. She's a bit braver behind the helmet, but beyond that, I have to wonder, what was it you ever saw in her?
DB, we've locked onto your position.
Overall, The Fall of the Phantom may have its share of writing issues in the form of some forced dialogue,
or lack thereof.
But the execution of the plotting and the raised personal stakes make it a pivotal installment in Turbo's strongest saga. Plus, we've got the truly awesome and innovative introduction of the Rescue Zord's High Stance mode, which really pushes the Rescue Megazord over the edge for having some of the most versatile Zord designs of all time. And you know how I love a good Zord. Now, Kay!
Oh, I don't think so.
Database, you need to get away from him. I can't get a clear shot.
Kay, you have to stop him. Fire!
Fire?
No!
Do it!
Do it?
Yes!
No, we need to narrow the beam spread. We need to move in closer.
Increasing acceleration.
Look at them.
Faster!
So helpless.
We need to get closer.
We're already maxing out the thrusters.
Imagine how helpless they'll be without you.
Kay, you have to fire!
Hold on!
Now it's time to say...
Almost.
Goodbye.
No!